Hello Fun Army, and welcome back to Life and Other Circus Skills and another one of Rosie's random makes. Although it's not entirely random this time because I already pre-warned you I was going to do it. It's leggings. It is time for the leggings challenge. Now, this is going to be an interesting one in a different way to normal because not only do I have pattern instructions, I also got some advice from my mother in advance. In fairness, I said to her, I'm going to try leggings next, and her response was, turn them inside out and put one leg inside of the other, and that's how you make your pattern. So we're going to try that and see what happens. The reason I'm doing that and not using the actual pattern that comes with the pattern instructions is, A, that would require a shit lot of printing out, and I can't be asked. And B, I actually much prefer, not that I know how to use a pattern, let's be very clear about this, but I actually prefer the idea of drawing around something I own that I already know fits, because obviously the thing with patterns is it's like going to a shop and buying clothes in a certain way. You have to sort of ascribe to a standard size, which I never have done. Although obviously the bonus of being able to sew is that you can then adjust things, but I would rather start with something that is similar to the thing that I already know fits. Obviously the fabric is going to be different, so the fabric I've got is kind of like the fabric I used to make the t-shirt, so it's not like a full-on lycra, but actually all of my leggings, like even the ones I'm wearing now, they're made out of like proper leggings material, and it's quite hard to find that by just browsing on the internet and without being able to feel the fabric. So I think realistically this for me is a test in how to do it, and I guess sort of starting to learn how to do trousers and bottoms in general. And interestingly, I'd already thought in my mind, I was like, yeah, it depends on how they go, because the fabric is thick, but not as thick as I would generally like leggings fabric to be, so there's every chance that I might not really want to wear them to any of my classes. So I will either wear them as funky trousers, or I might actually wear them as pyjama bottoms, which I'm not gonna lie was also on my list of things I wanted to make at some point. Because again, like, you just can't get funky pyjamas for adults anymore, it irritates me. Primani did at one point, but Primani seemed to have, like, basically just stopped with lockdown. They had some really good brand partnerships going on, and that all just seems to have disappeared with the shoppers. So, fair enough, I guess, to a certain extent. But yes, until that comes back into fruition, I may well just play around with making my own. But anyway, this is about the leggings challenge. So as usual, I've put my tracing paper together. So we're going to follow Mum's inside out one leg inside the other instruction and see if that works, then draw around it. So then we basically, so you effectively just have, oh, she says, I was like, you just have two pieces. No, you must need to have four pieces. Two fronts, two backs. Oh, life is confusing. Yes, you want two fronts and two backs because you've got two legs. It's like the shoe scenario all over again. Jesus Christ. Yes, two fronts, two backs. And then according to the pattern instructions, we basically, you sort of sew up, you sew up the crotch bit and you sew up the bum bit. Then you open it out so that they look like sort of the finished shape, and then you go round the legs and you do that like in one sort of maneuver, and then it's literally just sewing up the waistband, where the pattern instructions say to use elastic. I think I probably will need to because as I say, the fabric I've got is not like proper lycra, proper leggings fabric, so it's stretchy, but I'm not sure it'll hold itself up if I just make a waistband without elastic. So this will be my first attempt at elasticking as well, bear with me. And then yeah, we just need to sew up the foot cuffs. I'm sure there's an actual word for that, but foot cuffs is what we're going to call them right now. So it looks disturbingly simple. I'm fairly sure it's not going to be, and I'm fairly sure I'm going to get confused despite having actual instructions to follow. And I may have already, in fact I know I've said this before at some point, I'm not very good at following instructions even if I do have them. I misread things or I miss out steps because I just don't see them, which is really one of the reasons why it's easier for me to just try and find my own method of doing things, because it's painful when you're following instructions and you've missed something crucial. But yeah, we'll see how it goes and you'll be here to watch. So stay with me, let's get to the pattern cutting. Okay, so shocker, I read the pattern instructions and actually it is saying it's only 2 pieces. And it's because it's all a different way. So, all a different way in my mind. So, if this is like the one leg, and I was obviously thinking, well, one leg, and then one leg, which would be 4. But what they're saying is, you come at it from the side. So, once I've turned this inside out and figured it out, effectively, the leg pieces are a wraparound, so there's only one seam and it's that inner seam. So the shape you need to cut would cover one whole leg and one whole side. So yes, you're only cutting those 2 pieces. If I can figure out how to do that with this as the template. So let's turn inside out and start from there. Okay, so the one leg inside the other rule is weird. So I'm going to try something a bit different. Hopefully if I lay it on the floor we can mostly get that wraparound shape. But if not, I'm going to have to wing it. Oh, this wasn't supposed to be this complicated. Or I'm just going to have to do like... I am just going to have to cut 4 pieces. And do 2 seams. But yeah, generally there's only supposed to be the 1 seam per leg. Okay, to the floor we go. Okay, so, number 1, I'd forgotten how annoying this fabric was to deal with. Just trying to cut it and pin it has been quite painful. I can't really remember if the sewing is more or less painful, so we'll soon find out. But next up, according to the pattern instructions, is that we do the crotch seams front and back. So I've just been debating whether I finish those seams immediately or whether I kind of see where it sits, because I'm a bit worried, because this is like a first try of making something quite close fitting, that I may need to move the seams, and obviously if I try and finish them I'm going to have a shit ton of stuff to unpick. So I think we'll just go with the basics. So it's sew these two seams and then we turn it round, basically. It's like so that then it looks legging shaped. Then we sew up the inner seam, I think it is, like the inner leg seam. And then that's it, aside from sort of doing the waistband and the leg cuffs. So yeah, I think I'll do a try on after I've done the main sewing and before then I do the waistband and the leg cuffs, because I'll need to sort of position particularly the waistband anyway. So we'll see where we're at and whether it's safe to finish the seams or not. I don't know huge amounts about seam finishing other than it stops fabric fraying, and it also just kind of secures your seam, particularly for something like leggings where you are relying quite heavily on your seams to hold your legs together, as it were. Yeah, it is important to do that at some point in this process. I will basically just do it as soon as I can, once I'm happy with where I've positioned things. So, without further ado, let's do them crotch seams and see where we're at. Also, just to say, I've set the machine to do a zigzag stitch, because obviously this is very stretchy fabric, and if you do a normal stitch then you're sort of restricting the movement of the fabric and your seams will tear and then your ass is falling out. Nobody wants that, so zigzag stitch it is. So I think actually the fabric is more of a pain in the ass when you're trying to pin it than sew it, but also I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do something else for doing the forwards backwards bit that you do when you open and close your sewing, because yeah, it was just bunching up when I tried to do that. So or maybe you're not supposed to do it on stretchy fabric, I don't know. So having sewn up both of those sides, we now need to turn it this way. Ah, yes! So it makes a legging shape. Oh my god. I didn't really think that was going to work. I couldn't see it. Now I can see it. Okay. So basically then, this is your... Oh my god. Lay it out. Oh, this fabric is evil, man. I don't know if Lycra would be easier or harder. I'm hoping it might be a bit easier because whilst it's stretchy, it's a bit more controllable, whereas this is just so soft. It's just literally like lolloping around. You know, like I'm trying to control lollopy fabric and it doesn't want to be controlled. Yeah, so you won't be able to see that very well due to the lollopiness of the fabric, but effectively then this side is closed because we've made it so. And then we basically just need to sew up the inside leg seams and then we have our base shape. Like it's disturbingly simple. It's scaring me with its simplicity. So yeah, I'm going to do that and then we're going to try on and just see where we're at and hope that I don't rip the seams when I try it on before I finish them. So fingers crossed, everyone. Oh yeah, I forgot. I've got to pin up the inside leg first, so that'll be fun. See you on the other side of that. Okay, time to do the try on. So wish me luck. So the good news is they're not too tight. The bad news is they're a bit too baggy. Like, not massively, actually. I was quite impressed. Certainly at the moment, the fit on the legs is a bit more pyjama trouser than legging. But again, like sort of thin pyjama trouser, not like big baggy one. So what I'm thinking I might do is actually just, instead of unpicking it all, stitch a new line, just sort of maybe a centimetre in from the current one. And then the other issue is the crotch area, which I was slightly concerned about because it's just such a hard thing to do on paper and then convert into 3D, as it were. So it was actually kind of fine on one side and not on the other side, because obviously you've got your bum on one side and not on the other, which is fair enough. So I'm going to try... I've lost the pin now. Where's the pin? Pin tells me which side to do it on. I'm going to try to bring that in on one side and hopefully not cock it up in the process. So I'm going to do those two things and try it, just for the sake of doing that first test of trying to make something fit a little bit more closely. As I say, I was quite prepared for these to end up being pyjama trousers anyway. But otherwise, I'm pretty impressed with how this has come out, considering I, as usual, had no idea what I was doing. So yeah, let's try and make these adjustments and hope that doesn't screw everything up, in which case I will unpick all of that, but let's see. Okay, time to try on again. Okay, so way better. Still a wee bit baggy in the front crotch. So I'm gonna try another squish in, maybe not, because I ended up doing about 1.5 centimetres. So whether I try, I think I will go a full centimetre because there was enough space there. The legs, much better. Could probably still do with maybe like another centimetre. I'm just debating whether it's really worth faffing about with that at this point, or whether we just fix the crotch for now, because we're fairly well decided these are going to be indoor wear only anyway. Oh, I don't know. It's that thing of I really want to get to a point where I've made something that fits well, but I also don't want to spend my entire day faffing about with it. I'm not, as you know, I'm not very patient, so I don't know. It also means I'm sort of finishing some of the ends at the same time by having these multiple layers of things, although I will now need to trim down some of the fabric on the inside, otherwise I'm just going to have these weird pads of fabric just flouncing about. So yeah, that is where we are. So I tried on again, and I think I could do the legs, but I think actually that's not worth the faffing. But I am determined to fix the crotch situation. So I did take it in again, and that was a lot better. But I've actually now pinned, there's just an annoying, like probably about that long of an annoying like gapey section. So if I can just pull that little bit in, it will be as good as it's going to get right now. And then we can just do the finishing touches and figure out the elastic bit. Because that's a bit new to me as well, as I said. So yeah, next up then, final adjustment, and then yeah, onto those waistband and leg cuffs. Okay, that went all right. I managed not to sew up the gap. Yes. So the gap will be to feed the elastic into. So next I need to measure out the right width of elastic, feed that through, then we test it again, then we sew the elastic to each other, then we close the gap, and then the final part will be doing the leg cuffs. Let's do this! Woo! Ta-da! And then leg cuffs. Oh, looks real smooth from here. Ta-da! Ta-da! Why did that go? Oh, there we go, right. Couldn't figure out why they were coming off uneven. I promise they're not uneven. Yeah, gonna do the final try on now, make sure it all still works, and then I'll do the reveal. So there you have it. This was definitely the least painful sewing project I've done in a while. Maybe because there were less steps. There were still things to figure out. I think it did help having some level of instruction. But there were obviously things that I just had to learn, like how to adjust stuff. Or the fact that I just need to keep sewing in until I get to the right bit. But no, overall I'm pretty pleased. I think, as I say, like, based on the fabric style, I don't think these are really going to be suitable for doing the normal stretchy things I do in leggings, but they're great for wearing about the house or great as pyjama trousers. So that ended up accidentally ticking 2 boxes, because I was like, I can never find pyjama trousers that I like out there in the real world, so that's kind of saved me a job of figuring out how to learn how to, no. Either figuring out or learning how to make pyjama trousers, because that was genuinely on the list. Maybe I should figure out how to make pyjama top. I normally wear a vest top on top, so that's less of an issue to buy those kind of things, I guess, but maybe that would be something useful to learn as well. But in the grand sort of superhero cosplay world of things, we're definitely a step closer. I think there may come a point where I do need to invest in an overlocker, but I'm not sure if we're there yet. I think what I might do actually is sort of go back to the cosplay book I got last year and just have a bit of a flick and see if there's any level of advancement I can do on this, or what they suggest in terms of like making, because I'm sure they had leggings as a separate in there, and I'm also sure they had like a basic catsuit and those kind of things, so it would just be interesting to see what they are recommending, and what I might be able to do as a next step on from this. Because yeah, pyjama trousers was going to be my next thing after this, so I'm actually not sure what the next project will be. Dun 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 dun! But as generally happens with me, it will suddenly be that I realise I need something or I want something, and then ta-da, next project. So yeah, let's see. I mean, if you have any requests or suggestions, that will also be interesting. Side note, I went to see my mum earlier and she got me these. So yeah, basically I thought, I didn't really read the packaging because it just says labels and it says ta-da. What I didn't read is that underneath it says pack of 8 woven labels for your handmade goods. So what it actually is, if I can get it out, it's like a little like sewing label that says ta-da, so I can sew it into the clothes that I make. Ta-da! This is literally my life. Best gift ever. Oh gosh. Except there are only 8. So you know, you're like, I already need more. More. So that was exciting. Anyway. So yes, so I will defo have a ponder on what the next sew project will be, but I'm pretty pleased with this. It's, what day is it today? It's Saturday. So I do my pyjama switch over on a Sunday night. So I think I will then wear these as my pyjama bottoms for the next week and see how that makes me feel. They're certainly very comfy just sitting here, which is great. And bearing in mind I'm sitting like cross-legged right now, and I generally, as you will have seen, sit with my knees up around my ears a lot of the time. So that's the first test of any garment that I make or buy, is can it deal with the way that I sit? And these ones have passed the test. Ding! Well done me. Very proud of myself. So yeah, happy times. I think I can sleep easy this evening now that I've got these done and quite quickly. So there we go. That was leggings / pyjama trousers. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Thanks for joining me on my sewing journey as ever. If you have any suggestions, requests, comments or other, please do type down in the comments box below. Otherwise, I'll see you again next time. Bye!